Jobina, did you know that the bodybuilders actually lose weight when they get close to their show? Have you heard? Have you heard about this thing? They call this.
No.
They kind of it's called shredding.
Okay.
So they will bulk up, and then I don't know. Sometimes a month, 2 months before the show, they'll actually cut. They'll cut weight, and they do that by eating way less food, and they lose 25. Like Arnold. Like I looked at Arnold Schwarzenegger. He off season weighed 260 pounds. And then on the day of the contest, he weighed 235 pounds. So he literally loses like 25 pounds in a month or two.
Oh my god!
Just so that his, so of course you also lose a lot of water.
Yeah.
Muscle definition. And then like a day before the show, they start drinking less water so that their veins and things are bulging and popping. A lot of people say that it's not the healthiest, because you think of bodybuilding as healthy,
Fitness,
they're the most
right?
fitness.
Yeah.
But people say it's not that healthy. The way that they starve their body of water, the days leading up to the show, and then the way that they are, of course, taking steroids. And I did not know. Did you know that Arnold Schwarzenegger took steroids?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I guess I should have known, but I just never.
Right? It's like, hello. Yes.
I just never thought. I thought steroids were like a modern thing. But no, he was like, I
did. Yeah. Right. He was like, it was on a program and we only did it before the show, but of course.
All right. So we are going to talk about bodybuilding. Let's get into it. Let's start the show. Hey everyone, this is Luther Palmer.
And I'm Jobina Scott.
And welcome to One Episode Stand, a podcast here to help you figure out what new shows to watch and what to skip.
So each episode, we watch and discuss the series premiere of a new television show. And then, like the Rolling Stones we move on to the next show.
Everyone is having one-night stands, and we
Everybody.
are safe. We are practicing safe lifestyle. By having one episode
making good lifestyle choices.
Right. Making healthy choices. We love them and leave them. We hit it and quit it. We tap it and scrap it, but we do it for you, the listeners. Jobina, when is the last time you lifted weights?
Maybe 6 months ago.
Like pumped iron. You were pumping iron.
Yeah, so as you know, I have a Peloton tread. And you can do more than just walk on the treadmill on your Peloton tread. You can take all the classes.
Right.
And so there was a moment 6 months ago where I was like in it. So I was doing something every day. I was taking the classes. I have all the Peloton weights. Like I was.
Oh, you have the Peloton weights.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So I was lifting weights.
You were lifting weights. Yeah. Okay. All right. I was gonna ask you a silly question. What's your bench max, bro?
Oh, I have no idea. Who knows? I cannot think of when I've bench pressed anything. Although there was a time where I had a personal trainer who really pushed me to do all sorts of things I wasn't ready for with weights. Like he has a picture of me that he sends me from time to time where I'm like face planted on the floor, just like of sheer exhaustion and pain, just face down on the ground. Yeah,
I love the exhaustion. Yeah,
you do.
The bench press is a very much gym bro. It's a very much gym bro lifestyle question.
Yeah, I don't have an answer.
Okay. We're here to talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I'm going to try to resist doing the accent as much as possible.
It's hard.
But
I
love his accent.
I love it.
I'm somewhat impressed that he's been able to maintain that accent. I mean, he's been in America for 60 years.
Forever. Yeah.
And he still talks like this all the time. It's just hilarious. It's just good stuff. All right. Tell us about what is it called?
Arnold.
Oh, it's just called Arnold. That's it. There's no subtext
Arnold.
like Arnold, the man, the legend,
so.
the bodybuilder.
Just Arnold limited series. That's what it's called. So
all right,
it
tell us
is
about
indeed a limited series. It's a 1 hour kind of docu-series about the life and times of Arnold Schwarzenegger. he is prominently featured.
Yeah.
And we get to learn all about him as an athlete, an actor, I'm guessing a politician into the future. But yeah, all about Arnold.
So I did not know this. I mean, of course, Arnold's physique was amazing. I did not know that he was an attractive man. Like every now and then, something will surprise me. Like I had this friend in college who was dating women and, liking girls. And then just like all in one season, several women were like, no, he is very unattractive. And I was like, what? I was like, I had no idea. Like I did not know. So then with Arnold, like people are like, he's attractive. And I'm thinking, same thing. Like I did not know that women found Arnold attractive because he has a very distinctive face.
He does, but it's a good face. Like he just he has a good jawline. He has a good smile. Like I think he was a very, very handsome guy.
I have never once talked about a person's jawline. Like I never. That's just not something that I ever noticed about. Like if you ask me about my own father, how's your father's jawline?
What's
I'd be
jawline?
like, I have no idea what his jawline looks like.
But a jawline is like a quintessential manly feature. Like I feel like a guy with a good jawline, I don't know, it says something. It speaks to my woman heart.
Okay, how does the show look, sound, and feel?
Well, you get a lot of Arnold, which of course is a pleasure for me. It's very documentary style. You get a little bit of the like rollback. We get to see the pictures of him when he's young, his family. Yeah, it's a very kind of traditional documentary style.
Yeah, it's a documentary, but it's a documentary about him that he's sort of in charge of.
Yeah,
so
about him, by him.
Yeah, like I don't know. I guess I'm happy to see how he feels about his own life and trajectory, but I would also like to see what the real story is. Like we're getting Arnold's story.
Yeah.
And there's Arnold's story, and then there's the real story. And I kind of would be curious about the real story. Maybe there's an actual documentary out there about him already that exists, but this is very much Arnold driven.
Yeah, well, and this is taking me back to how you felt about the Meghan and Harry docu-series as well. I know you don't like that, but Arnold's view of Arnold is fine for me in this format. Like I wouldn't suspect that he would ever let anything be uncurated. Like he just has an ego that is of such that this is what I expected.
And he very much narrates through the whole thing. He narrates every part of the story. And I did find it interesting. So no shade for this, but I would also like to see something else. So what themes came up for you in this first episode? Yeah,
I mean, so he has this interesting take on himself and sense of belonging, right? He felt like he didn't belong in Austria almost his whole life. He said, I just felt like I'm not supposed to be here, which is such an interesting...
No, he said, I feel like I'm American. He said,
like not only am I out of place here, I should be in America.
Right, and he even said, I wondered if my father was even my father.
Was really my father. Isn't that so strange? Like, to me, for a kid to have that reflection is such a strange
Yeah, he was like, maybe an American soldier, like, fathered me, and I should be an American. It's like, bro, like, are you okay?
It was so strange. But he definitely had some sense of belonging things. There's stuff going on with his family in terms of his father being very disapproving, unrelenting, really strict and stern. And also having a mother who was very, I mean, it didn't sound like she was mean to him, but she's very like a perfectionist. And that thing where he was talking about the way she folded her towels, like she was also very structured. She had a very high bar, very structured. Yeah. So you get a lot of reflections of like how that impacted him versus his brother in the family, and then just his own ambition and what he wanted to accomplish in life, and kind of setting that vision for himself and never letting it go.
Yeah. So some things that came up for me was that he was very much into, I have a 5-year plan to be successful. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm going to reach these goals and I'm going to do it. Are you a 5-year plan person? Do you have a 10-year plan? Do you have a 5-year plan?
For work, I have a 5-year plan.
Okay.
For life, no. No, I am just out here trying to make it every day. Raise these kids. I do not. No, I should probably have some personal goals on my list, but for work, I'm definitely very structured. 5-year plan, like, what are my goals this year? What are the priorities that help me get to that goal? Mm-hmm. What are the actions that help me deliver on those priorities? And so very structured at work. In life, maybe not as much. You?
But that's interesting because, no, I don't have a
you don't do it.
I don't have a 24-hour plan. Like, I don't. Yeah, I like to just go where the wind takes me. Your pants. and many people in my life would wish I had.
That's frustrating, right?
Yeah. Like when people say, "What are you doing next Friday?" I'm like, I have no clue. Like especially if you're going to in the next week, like, man, I'm reluctant to like commit to things that far out. Because I'm like, I don't know where I might be living in Toronto next week. I have no idea.
But is there like a level of excitement that you find in not having a plan? Like, what is it?
It's just freedom. It's freedom.
Freedom.
Really. Yeah. So, and what it allows me to do is it does allow me to leave space open in my life for the things that I do want to plan. So like there's some organizations I'm involved with and I want to center those and focus on those. So then like other little stuff, I don't want to get involved in other little stuff and cloud my calendar so that I can't give maybe more time if needed to other things, or if I can't spend time at home like I want to, or if I want to go play basketball, I can do that. So there's things I want to do. Like did you read that book? Was it called How Not to Give a Fuck? I think that was the name of the book.
I know what you're talking about. That's not the title, but I know what you're talking about.
Or Don't Give a Fuck or something. Fuck was in there. That was in the title.
Right.
But it was interesting because the book talked about, it talked about, it's not that you're saying I don't care about anything. It's saying I'm going to care less about the things that I don't want to prioritize, so that gives me the space to prioritize the things that I want to.
That I do care
and
about.
For me, with scheduling, it just comes down to I don't want to overschedule myself so that I can't prioritize the things that I want to prioritize.
Yeah, well, I don't know. For me personally, I struggle with scheduling in my personal life and prioritizing and goals and all of that. But I will say that when I do it, I'm just so much more productive. I get so much more done because my tendency is not to like go seize the day. Without a plan, I'm like, I've been sitting around this house for like 6 hours and I haven't done anything. So it helps me to have a plan.
One other thing that came up, and I have heard this about Arnold before, is that here's a quote. I was never really satisfied with my body. I don't know how this shit body can ever win. He kind of goes between really finding himself terrific, but then also self-loathing and not being satisfied. And that's so interesting because it's a very common man thing. Like here's Arnold, this great figure who's accomplished all this stuff, and yet he still has body images or body
issues.
Body issues.
Images.
He has body issues. And a part of those body issues are what drove him to greatness.
Yeah, he was always trying to perfect his physique. But I feel like everybody feels that way. Like, doesn't everybody like look at themselves and think like, oh, there's this, I could be better in all of these ways.
But you would think that Arnold wouldn't.
Yeah.
You would think he wouldn't.
Yeah.
But he does.
But he also faced this like, he thought he was kind of building himself to greatness. And then when he got to America and saw what American bodybuilders were doing, he was like, oh, whoa, I have a long way to go.
Right.
So there also was this, like, what I was able to accomplish in my bubble in Austria. And then when he got to his promised land, the good old US of A, he realized, like, oh, there's some distance between me and actual greatness.
Yeah. But even when he won here, he still
wasn't satisfied.
like he still and it. They talk about like lottery winners. You winning the lottery won't make you more happy. There's a short period of time where you'll be happy, but if you weren't happy before, you won't be happy after. If you worried about money before, you're gonna worry about money after, even if you have way more. And I think the same thing goes for that body type. If you are not happy with your body now, you can have all the muscles, you can remove all the fat. You're just not going to be happy with your body.
I'm going to go ahead and say, let me win the lottery and find out.
Everyone says that. Everyone says that.
I'm gonna call BS on that. And just because if I'm worried about money because I don't have enough, when I have enough, I'm gonna go ahead and.
But you'll never. No, you'll never have enough.
You never believe you have
You
enough.
will never believe you have enough.
Yeah, just let me win the lottery. I'll let you know.
You don't subscribe to the notorious Big more money, more problems philosophy of life.
Yeah, but give me those problems. I will take them.
What is this? I used to say more money, more problems, but less money, less solutions. Like when you don't have a lot of money, you just can't.
Exactly.
You don't have a lot of different ways to solve problems.
Right. Well, and someone who's trying to figure out how not to be hungry in a week, like that's a problem that like far eclipses any problem I can imagine a really wealthy person.
But but the literally the research does say once you have food security, then your more money does not mean
relative.
More happiness.
Yeah.
It just you just do not get more happy with more money. And then everyone also says, let me be the judge of that. Like,
that is
people are all about the science until the science says that. And then they're like, fuck that science. Give me more money. Fauci and whoever other scientists can get the hell out of here.
Get out of here. Get out of here with that.
The other thing that came up, and I'm going to give you another quote. He says, when you're a person who always has a goal, who always has a mission, the less time to feel, am I depressed today? Do I feel sorry for myself? Have I become a victim? I feel so bad about myself. I don't have time for this crap. If you're busy, you don't have time for this crap. A lot of times it's people who don't work enough. This is my problem with Arnold. Like that mindset of I'm just going to power through feelings.
Yeah, including like the death of his father. He was just like, I don't have time to be sad about that. I got to just keep going.
Yeah. And my brother, we talked about this before. My brother had gone on this journey of like, what does it mean to be masculine? What is it? He's got these sons. How do I teach my sons to be masculine? And one of the things he came up with is this idea that society teaches men to power through emotions. And he says that women are very good at pausing life to address feelings, and men are good at just rolling through life. And he's trying to teach his sons sometimes you have to do both. You can't just be the one thing that just motors through emotions, but you also have to be able to motor through emotions at times, right? So and Arnold was very much like dismissive of feelings, and I just felt like even retrospectively you still sort of have that mindset.
Feels that way. I think it has to be underneath the surface. Again, when you're talking about this documentary being curated by Arnold, it's his voice, it's his thoughts, it's his feelings, it's what he wants to portray. Right. I cannot imagine that underneath that, he's not feeling and experiencing hurts that impact him. I don't believe it.
Yeah. And that was again where we get this. This is the story he wants to tell. Everything
about
that
himself.
It's edited, and maybe even in that moment he did express something different. I was like, no, cut that out. I want to be seen as this tough guy who can still plow through walls without feeling things. We talked about did his brother die? Was it just his father died?
His brother committed suicide.
His brother died. Yeah, his brother committed suicide. Yeah. And he just kind of like, you could tell that there was something inside. There's
something there, yeah.
And that's when he gave this quote about you just have to fight through it, and I don't. People who are not working enough. Like, what, bro? Like, huh?
Right. Well, and he has to admit that like that him trying to focus on something else and powering through is also him trying not to feel it. And so that means you do have feelings. Like you just or trying not to acknowledge them.
Okay, more or less. What did you want to see more of or less of?
More of Arnold in a Speedo. You already know I was like, now this is something special. But no, I appreciate for what it is. I appreciate the docu-series. I like hearing his version of events, his reflections on his life. Like, I like the kind of sequence of like Arnold the athlete is the first episode, Arnold the actor is going to be the second episode. Mm-hmm. So I like the way he structured and organized it, and I'm here for it. I think it's going to be good.
I actually as a man, I am attracted to Arnold's physique.
Right.
Like I am. Like it's just like it is like
I mean, it's just
it is something to marvel at. Like, wow,
something to behold.
Look at that human being. And mm-hmm. I think 30 years ago, I would never admit that, right? I would never admit that another man's physique is something is attractive, right?
Right, yeah.
And it's funny because he even said that when he was young, he had posters of male bodybuilders up on his wall when all his friends had posters of women. His mother was like, oh my goodness, like what's going on here? Right. Did you used to have posters? Like, remember like Word Up magazine, and they would have posters of like Prince and Michael. Did you have those over your bed? Did your parents allow that?
My parents were like, do not put anything on our walls, friends. Like, absolutely nothing. Certainly not Prince, especially. Like, I think I told you the story of the time that my parents found, my sister and I were like faithful Yo MTV Raps watchers on Friday while my parents weren't home. And one day we decided that we would dutifully write out the lyrics to LL Cool J, I Need Love. Because we just were like, this song is amazing. Right. And my parents found those lyrics and they were like, oh, really? What is happening in this house? Like, they were so mad. I mean, they just were like, the perdition that is happening has got to go. I mean, they were so alarmed and so upset that I cannot imagine what they would have done if I put a poster of a pop star on my wall. So it was.
But that song is kind of tame, even still.
It's so wholesome. I mean,
he's talking about It's very wholesome. Right?
I need a girl as sweet as a dove. My parents were like, heck no.
Ladies love Cool James.
We loved him.
Okay, Marry, Kill, One Night Stand. I'm going to ask you about Arnold. Like, all that you know, Mary.
All the
really
things. I mean, I know he had the affair with the nanny and all those things, but he did. But to me, he is so interesting. Like, on top of being attractive, he's just an interesting person. Like, I like having good conversation with my partner. Like, I have this, one of the things I loved about my parents' marriage is like, they just knew how to like kiki it up with each other. Like, they were always laughing and talking. Like, they were the couple that's like laying in the bed, chit-chatting in the morning. Like, I like that. And he seems really interesting on top of having been super attractive. So yeah, I'd marry Arnold.
Even though he wasn't, I'm not sure if Arnold was emotionally available. And that's a thing that women are saying loud and clear. We want men to be more emotionally available.
Yeah. I think I could. You
can get over that part.
The
muscles would help you get over his lack of emotional availability.
He is not emotionally available, but man,
he is muscularly available.
He is available in that way.
Oh, okay.
Oh, heavens. Is there anybody for me to give you in Arnold? I mean, unless I'm giving you back Arnold, but I don't know. What about you? Marry, kill, or one night stand?
I'm going to have to kill Arnold. like as good, as attractive as his physique is. Like, you gotta murder him. I need an emotionally available man. That's what I need. If I'm gonna
don't
be
give
gay,
me anybody who's gonna cheat with the nanny.
If I'm gonna go gay, I need an emotionally available man.
Then he has to be 100% of it, right? Exactly. It's like, come on, you gotta be 100% in touch with your feelings,
right?
Oh my gosh. So no Arnold for you.
All right. Did we cover all the things?
I think we covered all the things. Unless you want to talk more about how physically attractive he is.
Wait, Jobina, you know what? Our last episode, I don't even remember what it was. We didn't actually ask this question. Are you going to watch more, or was this a one-night stand?
A one-episode stand. So
one episode stand. I will never get that right.
I was going to say,
we will be doing this podcast in our 70s, right? And I'll be talking about one-night stand.
So this is not a one-episode stand. I'm going to watch it. I'm interested. I like Arnold. He's I'm definitely going to watch.
I'm going to watch more too. This is not a one episode stand for me. But I have a feeling that at some point I'm going to get tired of him. I'm going to get tired of the image that he's trying to portray. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be like, dude, keep it real. Like I value someone who's genuine. And I wonder if there's ever going to be a moment in this documentary where we see genuine Arnold. And I'm not sure that's going to happen.
Well, and I maybe I'm like you, because I also haven't really been interested in any of his films. This Arnold the actor is probably not gonna be able to keep my attention, because I don't care about Terminator or any of that stuff.
I'm sorry, did you say you don't care about the Terminator?
Not
really
at all.
So not the Terminator actually changed my life, and I'm surprised. I hadn't thought about this, because when I was in college I took a robotics class, and I was like, oh man, robotics is really cool. And when I went to look at what kind of jobs you could get in robotics, everything was in the automobile industry, like building cars. But then Terminator comes out, and here's a humanoid robot, and I want to build robots like that. So I literally went to grad school to build what this field called biologically inspired robots.
Wow.
And it's like we study animals and humans to build robots that mimic their performance. That came from Terminator. I am a huge Terminator fan, and I was a huge Arnold Schwarzenegger fan. And plus, he very much came along at a time when I was a teenage boy, and he was blowing things up, and he was punching people in the face, and that's the thing that teenage boys are into, weirdly, as we're becoming less emotionally available. So But I was looking forward to this to see a different side of Arnold, and I didn't get that in episode 1. But I'm willing to keep going to see if we eventually get some semblance of human. And in the part where he talked about his body issues, I thought that was a very human moment. And I would look forward to more human moments like that. All right, thank you all for listening to One Episode Stand. If you enjoyed this episode, you can subscribe to the podcast to be alerted when new episodes drop. If you're listening on iTunes, please give us a rating. The theme music is Freedom by Paradox Hip Hop. And we'll be back next time with another series premiere. Let's end on this, Jobina. Every story has a moral. What was the moral of this episode?
So I'm going to say that the moral of this episode for men, your emotional availability can go down when your muscles go up. So if you are not willing to get an Arnold physique, you got to open your heart.
Man.
That's the moral of the story, the correlation between emotional availability and muscle mass.
Go to therapy or go to the gym.
If you're not going to go to the gym, right, go to therapy and open your heart.
You heard it here first, fellas. All right, we'll see y'all next time.
Bye, everybody.